He struck in the dead of night, where the only witnesses were rats and the choking London fog. His victims, women trapped in poverty, were left butchered in the gutters, their bodies carved open with surgical precision. The police chased shadows. The press spread hysteria, and London trembled in fear. He was never caught. No one knows his face. No one knows his name. This is the story of Jack the Ripper, the faceless phantom who turned London into a nightmare. Victorian London, 1888. The city was booming. Factories spewing smoke. Ships crowding the Thames River. Wealth piling in the hands of the elite. But deep in the East End, in a district called Whitechapel, life was cheap. Narrow alleys filled with prostitutes, beggars, and drunkards. 10 people crammed into one room. The smell of rot and coal smoke in the air. Police were underpaid, undertrained, and overwhelmed. And into this chaos stepped a monster. He hunted at night. He killed quickly. He vanished before dawn. And what he left behind would freeze the blood of even hardened detectives. The first known victim was Mary Ann Nichols. She was found sprawled on Bucks Row at 3:40 a.m. by a carman heading to work. Her throat cut twice, deep enough to nearly decapitate her. Her abdomen slashed open. Yet her hands were folded across her chest almost peacefully. No witnesses, no sounds heard. Just a cold body, still bleeding under the dim gaslight. Constables searched the area with lanterns, but Whitechapel was a maze of darkness. By the time dawn came, the killer was gone. The press smelled blood, literally and figuratively. London had a new terror. Only 8 days later, Annie Chapman was found behind 29 Hanbury Street. Her throat cut clean through to the spine, her abdomen opened, intestines pulled out and placed neatly on her shoulder, part of her womb missing. The killer wasn't just murdering, he was performing a ritual. He was sending a message. Police surgeons concluded the cuts were made with surgical precision. Someone with knowledge of anatomy, maybe a doctor or a butcher or a medical student. Scotland Yard had no experience with serial killers. They were chasing a ghost armed with a scalpel. Detective Inspector Frederick Aberline led the hunt, a seasoned officer, but he faced impossible odds. No fingerprints, no cameras, no forensics whatsoever. Just eyewitness contradictions and blood-soaked cobblestone. The police rounded up every doctor, every butcher, every foreigner. No one fit. The city was in panic. The night of September 30 became known as the double event. First, Elizabeth Stride was found in Dudfield's yard, her throat cut, but no mutilation. The killer was interrupted. Someone had walked too close. He vanished into the fog. But less than an hour later, Catherine Eddowes was discovered in Mitre Square. Her throat slit, her face mutilated beyond recognition, her abdomen ripped open, intestines pulled out, her left kidney gone. And beneath the gaslight, detectives realized the killer had moved fast, worked methodically, and escaped unseen. Nearby, a cryptic clue appeared on a wall. It said, "The Jewess are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." The message was smeared with chalk above a bloodied apron belonging to Eddowes. Commissioner Charles Warren ordered it erased before daylight to prevent riots against London's Jewish community. But with that, perhaps the Ripper's only message was lost forever. The last and most horrific scene came inside 13 Miller's Court. Mary Jane Kelly, age 25, murdered in her bed. This time, the killer had privacy and unleashed his full madness. Her throat was slashed nearly to the spine, her face unrecognizable, her body opened from chest to groin, organs strewn across the bed, her heart missing entire. The walls were splattered with blood. The crime scene looked more of a massacre than a murder. Detectives stood frozen. No human could do this, they thought, but one had. After Kelly's death, the killings stopped. No more bodies, no more letters, only silence. The Ripper taunted the police with letters. Dear Boss was a letter claiming future murders. From Hell was a letter mailed with half a human kidney. Real or hoax, no one knew, but these letters drove the city into hysteria. Newspapers published every word. Crowds gathered at crime scenes. People claimed to see him everywhere. Many descriptions were thrown. An educated man in a top hat, a foreign lunatic, a phantom in the fog. Scotland Yard was drowning in false lead. Thousands of interviews, hundreds of arrests, zero progress. Meanwhile, London's poor demanded protection. But how do you catch a man you can't see, can't predict, and can't understand? Aberline and his men tried everything. Night patrols in disguise, bloodhounds brought in from Manchester, reward money offered for information. Nothing worked. The Ripper's attack were fast and silent. No signs of struggle. Victims killed instantly, then mutilated. Experts concluded the killer was calm, intelligent, and possibly trained in dissection. And he blended into the crowd. You see, Whitechapel was full of men carrying knives. Slaughterhouse workers, surgeons, butchers, everybody had a knife. And every theory cracked under scrutiny. Over the years, suspects multiplied. Modern DNA tests from letters and shawls pointed to one suspect in particular, Aaron Kosminski. Aaron was a mentally ill barber who hated women. However, contamination and poor preservation make the results shaky. The truth remains elusive. Whitechapel wasn't just a hunting ground. It was the perfect cover. Police couldn't control the slums. Women vanished nightly. Violence was a daily routine. Jack did not create terror. He exploited a world drowning in it. The Ripper exposed London's filth, not just in the streets, but in its soul. The city's poor cried for help. The rich ignored them, until blood flowed and the press forced him to look. The horror peaked with Mary Jane Kelly. Police stood in her room, the air thick with the smell of death and coal smoke. Dr. Thomas Bond examined the remains, concluding the killer was likely a man of sexual mania, driven by hatred, not greed. But psychology was in its infancy. No one could imagine profiling a killer. As weeks passed without another attack, hope flickered. Then silence. Jack was gone. No capture, no confession, no justice. For 135 years, the question has haunted historians. Who was Jack the Ripper? A madman? A doctor? A face in the crowd hiding in plain sight? He didn't just kill 5 women. He birthed the idea of the serial killer. The hunter who kills for pleasure, not profit. He changed crime investigation forever, and he remains the ultimate unsolved case. Jack the Ripper is more than a man now. He's a symbol of fear that never dies.